Everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV team news reaction time ahead of Aston Villa vs Liverpool. Ste here with Mr. Chris Pajak. We're going to guide you through the entire game and, of course, react to Liverpool's team when it breaks in roughly 15 minutes' time. How are you, Chris? Have a good Christmas. Sorry, I remembered. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitter right now. If you're watching this on Twitter, click the link and come and join us over on YouTube. Yeah, I got that one done. Nice Christmas.
Very much so, mate. Yeah, very good. Didn't have a dry turkey, so that was good.
No, yeah, Saskia in your face.
Yeah, loser. You okay?
I'm great, mate. Yeah, I had a good one as well. Like I say, mine wasn't as busy as you. I know you do the cooking for the family and stuff. I never. I'm very much one of the guests who just turn up and drink. Else. Yeah, no, I didn't even drink it yesterday. I drank Christmas Eve. I might have drunk my body weight in amaretto on Christmas Eve, so I took Christmas Day. I was designated driver Christmas Day.
What was the 23rd like? How was curry?
Staff night out. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. A nice curry, yeah, down in
Holdy.
Holdy. It was really
lovely there, mate.
Yeah, it was nice. So, yeah, but I say we're glad to be here with you. Glad for the Reds to be back. Obviously, we had them back in League Cup action, but the Premier League's back today. We're obviously keeping an eye on the scores as we go along. It turns out, like, obviously Tottenham drew earlier on, but Newcastle are winning, Brighton are winning. It's weird, isn't it? Already, Liverpool haven't even kicked off yet, and automatically you're already thinking, blooming hell, they don't get 3 points here. It's going to be a
thought that before the game, to be honest with you. I just felt like, you need to get into a rhythm where you start winning games, and we've got so many tough games over the next few weeks and stuff that, the top four hopes could be either done and dusted, or you could be firmly cemented in it. Obviously Brighton now, as it stands, are going ahead of us, but we can flip that on its head. We can go ahead of them again. Tottenham dropping points is big for us, isn't it? And, mentally for them, if Liverpool were to get a win, if Manchester United were to get a win at some point over the next couple of days, then it becomes difficult, and they're already thinking, oh my God, it's 2 points dropped. In some ways, it's a point gain for them, Tottenham, because of the manner of the draw. But if they'd have been 2-0 up and drawn, they'd be in a much worse place, and yeah, it's exactly the same.
Exactly right. It's one of those, like, psychologically points of view. They might get a boost from it, but that's kind of been Spurs all over the season, hasn't it? They've very much been at a second half team. But like I say, I think even just in terms of like getting things back on track, you don't want to start after a break without winning. But Villa away has been a tough game for us. We have just about got through it the last couple of seasons, a couple of 2-1s, but it is a new manager, and he's had 5 or 6 weeks to prepare Villa just to face Liverpool, and he's done pretty well against us in the past as well. Like, that does throw a different little wrinkle on it as well. It's Unai Emery's Villa, and when he come in, he probably never really had the chance to make it his own team because it was just so mad. He's had 6 weeks now to turn Aston Villa into essentially what he wants them to be.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously he comes in, he has that big win against Manchester United, doesn't he, in the league, loses against them in the cup, obviously, the next week. And then it's about finding your feet as the manager, isn't it, and seeing what you can do. I think naturally his sort of game plan is to sort of frustrate teams, maybe hit them on the counter attack, be solid defensively and stuff, and that's what he'll have been working on over the last few weeks. And it's a bit different, isn't it, to, like, let's say a gap in the summer where the teams aren't together. He's had a lot of his squad together, so he'll be able to work on things. From a Liverpool standpoint, we know what Aston Villa are thinking, what Unai Emery will want from this game. So we've obviously had the same time to think about that. I know Pep Lijnders said in his press conference prior to City that we're going to be looking at, they were working on the movement and everything else. That was the thing that disappointed me most about Liverpool's performance against City, is we didn't seem to have a game plan, and didn't seem to be any better at those movements than what they had been before the break. So hopefully now Liverpool can come, turn it on, and get 3 points today.
Absolutely, you'd like to think that they can do that. Well, they need that, really. Like you say, it's been one where actually it's mad, because before the break, actually the league form was all right. It felt like they had turned that corner, maybe not performance-wise, but the result, going to Spurs was a big one and winning there. And obviously they won against Southampton. They had a couple of things go their way. It felt like they just got it on the right side, giving themselves half a chance to come back. I think Jürgen said in his press conference the other day, we're just about hanging in there because of those results. Again, just to get back underway today, you go to Villa, and then you play Leicester, who as it stands look just absolute dog shit at the moment. Then got a tough game against Brentford. Because of the start of the season, they're 2 or 3 potentially, if tricky games, are ones that Liverpool have struggled in at times in the past. They've essentially got themselves into a corner where they probably just need 9 points or more of those just to basically, because Newcastle look like no signs of slowing down. Who knows what the rest of those teams are doing, but it does feel like they need 9 out of 9 over this next week.
I honestly think we do. I really do. I think, because we need to be able to get it into the squad psyche that they are not the Liverpool from the first half of the season. That's the biggest hurdle for me to overcome.
Yeah.
You know, in years gone by, I'd look at these and go, yeah, it's 9 points. It's not a problem, it's 9 points, but it's not years gone by. It's this season, and this season we've not been able to string 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins together like we did. Obviously, you know, there was a point last season where we were chasing down Manchester City that I think we went unbeaten in 15 or so. We don't look like that Liverpool side anymore. We're not that Liverpool side anymore, or if we are, we need to start showing it very, very quickly.
Yeah, they haven't shown. Like I say, we are about 10 minutes away from the Liverpool's team being announced officially. We believe that we know what the team's going to be. We think it's going to be, just to let you guys know, we think it's going to be Ali, Robbo, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago, Chamberlain, Nunes, Salah. We haven't got confirmation, but that is the whispers that are going round. We'll clarify that in a minute. We'll get some thoughts. If that is the team, Chris, and we'll get on later, just as an overall point of view, the only one that maybe raises half an eyebrow was Chamberlain playing on the left.
Yeah, I went in pretty hard on Chamberlain in the build-up show for this game, actually, him and Naby Keita.
Yeah, Chloe really didn't like Naby Keita as well, did she?
No, she didn't. I mean, my sort of point around it was, I just don't see the point in playing them if they're going to leave at the end of the season and walk away for nothing. Like, I'd much rather see a young lad come in who's got, you know, something to prove, but, you know, ultimately 3 points are on the line in the Premier League, and so if Jurgen decides that the best option for 3 points is to put Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left, then Jurgen decides that that's the best thing. I would say that it might not be the best thing, to be honest with you. I would much rather, as an example, see maybe Salah up front, Nunes off the left, and Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side.
Yep.
You know, that, but Harvey Elliott's a midfielder now. You know, there are other things that you can do. I still want to see Carvalho. You know, there's no reason he scores the other day against Manchester City. Not the best all-round performance he's put in, but I think maybe a higher ceiling than Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yep.
I didn't really see what Ox did when he came on.
More likely to
it was
score.
a great pass, to be fair, for Salah's goal, wasn't it, to Nunes, the pass. But, like, he's not a left winger. So, yeah, he's just a frustrating player for me at the moment, Ox.
No, you're right, I get you. I just don't think he's... I think what Jurgen's decided, and I wonder if he's learned this... Well, I say learned this, took this from the COVID season, is that he doesn't really want to move players. We had this little experiment earlier on when he started going 4-4-2, just try and just get something going, and it half worked, but then as soon as he had a couple of lads back, he went back to 4-3-3 again. He just seems very, very, very reluctant to move Mo Salah. He just says, you're my right winger, you're my right forward, whatever you are. If we have to plug gaps elsewhere, it's not like, you know, when he moved Fabinho to centre half to cover things. He's just decided, Mo, you're playing right wing now, and we'll fill gaps in around you. And I'm with you. Half of me thinks I just wouldn't mind having a go at Mo Salah up front. I'm sure but then he scores for his right wing, I suppose. But what the Diaz and Jota injuries, and we think Roberto Firmino obviously as well has done, is that it's left you short somewhere, and whatever you do, it's going to be an ideal option. I'm just not sure the best option, we'll find out later, is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's left wing. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge. I suppose the only one who might feel hard done by there would be Fabio Carvalho, if that is the case, because, like I say, plays there, scores, does all right. Well, not brilliant, but he scores a goal, and he's out again. He might feel a little bit hard done, but he should feel hard done.
Yeah, look, Carvalho will have learned something for playing against Manchester City and their players. You wouldn't expect it to be as difficult to test against Aston Villa. Obviously, he's gone with the experience of Ox. Maybe that's what we're going to do. Maybe we're just going to rotate those two players because none of them are sort of primed for 2 games in a week. You know, as a youngster, being Carvalho, you don't want to burn them out over this period. 2 games, 4 days apart or whatever it is. Maybe that's too difficult. Maybe he's looking ahead to the next game and thinking,
play him at home against Leicester.
I'll play him home against Leicester instead, and you can kind of understand that, can't you? I mean, Naby Keita will still be disappointed. I don't think he is in Liverpool's best midfield 3 at the moment. I think that should be, as we've already mentioned, Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago right now. But if you can get minutes for him, Harvey Elliott can get into that as well, of course. So yeah, you know, the midfield doesn't surprise me too much. Excuse me. One of the things, obviously, is if Trent's back, I think that's a big deal. Yeah. I think that's a really big deal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because James Milner, he got injured, but he was having a torrid time the other day, wasn't he? And I suppose also Virgil and Alisson as well. They're just sliding back in. But I didn't think Kelleher did that. He didn't let any shockers in. I thought where Kelleher had a bit of a poor game the other day was with the ball. I thought his decision making from his kicking and just the accuracy of his kicking kind of played Liverpool into trouble a little bit. You rarely get that with Alisson, and like I say, Van Dijk should be mild. You'd hope to think that Van Dijk.
I'll be honest, I didn't think it was Keller's fault, the kicking side of things. I didn't like the way the back four were lined up when he had the ball. Yeah. You know, there was two lads really close to him, and you know, I spoke about this the other day, and Robertson and Milner were miles away, and yet they were miles away, but they never got forwards. Yeah, I couldn't understand why they weren't helping out in the build-up phase, because normally you want at least 3 options there for the goalkeeper to pass it to. Kelleher's quite good at those little chip balls out to Andy Robertson, who's on the touchline, but he was too far forwards the other day against City.
And no teams tend to press like City do. So as those chip balls were going out, you had someone on him all the time. You rarely get that. I always think it usually looks a little bit easier. Yeah, it's listen, with all due respect to Joe Gomez, I think he had a shocker, didn't he? And we know that. And again, hopefully Virgil is back fit and firing. Right then, the team's going to be out in about 4 minutes' time. So before we get there and Chris goes over to the board to confirm it, we've got 2 prize draws. There's actually 3 to do today. We're going to do 2 right now, and then we're going to do the final one on the watch along. So if you're a Redmen Plus subscriber as a club legend, you're already in this draw. If you aren't, well, you're not going to be in it. But if you want to be in it by the time we get to the next show, our final prize is a signed shirt by Jamie Carragher and from Phil Thompson from the 2001 Cup final. So in between now and that show, if you want to get yourselves in the hat, go to Redmen Plus and sign up as a club legend and you'll be in it. But today's draws, we've got 2 prizes. The first thing I'm going to give away, 1 second, I'm going to beat around. Oh, that's what she said. I don't know if you can see that, guys. There you go. Steven Gerrard, Champions League legend frame picture. We're going to give that away. And also, we've got a £50 voucher to redmenmerch.com. Right then, I'm going to bring the wheel of names up now on the board. Here we go. Spin that wheel. Little drum roll. And congratulations and well done to Brett Basden. Brett, we'll be sending the Steven Gerrard Champions League legend picture over to you. Right then, straight away into the next one. Let's crack on straight away. A £50 voucher to redmenmerch.com. Yeah, guys, you want to bring that wheel back up for me again? Here we go. Let's go again. Second time, lucky. Ooh. J.L.I. Pove? Lipove?
Sorry, Aaron, is our sound okay, mate? We've had a few comments coming in.
Yeah, it is now. It was when we brought the wheel up the first time.
The wheel okay. Messed things up. There we go then. So, anyway, yeah, whatever. There you go. You've won. Anyway, your £50 merch budget. We'll get in touch with you 2 guys. Right then, if you want to win the signed Phil Thompson and Jamie Carragher shirt, we'll be doing the draw before kick-off on the watch along. Go to redmenplus.com, sign up as a club legend, get yourselves involved, we'll put your name in there immediately. If you're a club captain, just upgrade your account, and again, we'll do the same, your name will be on that wheel. Right then, we are about 2 minutes away, Chris, from the team being announced. I suppose we haven't spoken about Aston Villa much over the new Emery. In terms of like World Cup, Mrs. Liverpool, Miss Nebu Konate, and it's debatable. It's a fair debate, but it's debatable whether he gets in Liverpool's team. Some might say he does, some might say he doesn't. My personal opinion is he probably doesn't, but I'm not that bothered. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if I'm splitting hairs. We think, well, Aston Villa are going to be missing their goalkeeper. That is advantage Liverpool in some regards. It looks like also my team being injured might be down to their 3rd choice. I felt the other day, me and El said against City, they had this backup goalie and we never tested them. Yeah. He had 2 shots and let both of them in. That's something that Liverpool need to be doing today. Like, maybe that's one reason Ox could be in the team for, is that couldn't someone just have shots at this guy, because they should have a reserve/3rd choice goalie and test the fella, because and you're the same. When Liverpool always, before Keller, you'd have a backup goalie and you'd always be like, fucking hell. And it can affect the atmosphere in the ground. If he makes a mistake early doors, Villa Park can be on edge. That helps Liverpool.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, Martinez is going to be a huge miss. We know how good he is, especially in, obviously, penalties. Hopefully Liverpool get a penalty today. They don't normally get penalties ever. So yeah, look, obviously that's a big thing. Ox likes to take his shot. I think you're absolutely spot on. But Liverpool, contrary to that, do like to work the ball into good opportunities, in good situations and stuff. Sorry, we just had a shout to say that the team is indeed out. I'm going to have a quick look at it before I go over to the board.
I'll read it out for you, pal, don't worry. Whoever done at the start of the 11 prediction show must be an absolute genius.
prediction show this week then?
Steve Hall. At Steve Hall.
Right. So there we go. Team is out and in goal. It is Alisson Becker, left back Andrew Robertson, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold, round off the back four. Fabinho, Thiago probably left hand side of a three. Henderson right hand side of the three. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left of a forward three. Salah right of the forward three, and Núñez starting up front. Are you 100% certain that Núñez is going to start up front, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Not Ox.
No.
Okay.
So the bench is Kelleher, Gomez.
Yeah.
Elliott, Keita.
Yeah.
Tsimikas, Carvalho.
Yeah.
Phillips.
Yeah.
But then it's Bacetich and Doak. So you can take Ramsey and Bobby. Obviously, Bobby hasn't made it. It's Bacetich and Doak.
There we go. Bacetich up there. Okay, so the subs in full. Kelleher, Phillips, Elliott, Carvalho, Gomez, Bacetich, Tsimikas, Keita and Ben Doak round off the forward options for us there. That's quite exciting. Just going back onto the Núñez up front thing. I mean, when Chamberlain came on, he literally went central.
Yep.
And Núñez played off that left-hand side a little bit more. And it was a little bit more like that at times during the game. Yep. So I think you're right. I think in much the same way that before when I was talking to you, Steve, I said, look, I don't really see the point in playing the likes of Ox and Keita if they're not going to be here for the rest of the season. Right now, Núñez has been playing left-hand side before the break. He started playing left-hand side, obviously second half after the break. But I do think long-term, Núñez has got to be in those central positions. So I would like to see Núñez in those central positions. I think the other thing is as well, there's not going to be space, I don't think, for Núñez to run in behind against Aston Villa. So, look, if they're going to sit back, then maybe the option of Núñez centrally to sort of head the ball and stuff is probably a better option, a better way of attacking Aston Villa. So I think Núñez will start up front as well. I just don't quite think it's as cut and dry because our options are so weak on that left-hand side at the moment that Núñez might just be asked to play left-hand side some games, central other games. I don't know whether you agree with that.
I do. I just, listen, Ox false nine, I mean, maybe, because you are right. I think if it's not going to be Ox left, I'm more with you, almost like a diamond, where Chamberlain can be, because I always thought the best we saw Chamberlain playing for Liverpool was that. Essentially, it was where, it wasn't a 4 in midfield, it was a 2 and a 1. And we, like, you think of we can hit one goal, against City where he's got space to run into. I think if you're going to get Oxlade-Chamberlain, his main asset is his long-range striking. We haven't seen enough of it. He can't really do that from out wide, so if that's the plan. But what that does mean, mate, you are narrow. You are asking Robbo and Trent on their first, Trent's first game back, Robbo only just come back to bust the gut for 90 minutes up and down that flank. That's hard graft, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I mean, look, obviously we know that Henderson and Thiago would split out there a little bit. What I want to see most, I think, from this Liverpool side in today's game is getting this lad into good positions. It's been much publicised that he hasn't got an assist in the league so far this season. I know he's got 1 goal maybe in the league, 1 goal in another competition. I think that's maybe right. But we need to get him back and firing. When Liverpool are at their absolute best, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a problem for teams going this way. Yep. Trent Alexander-Arnold hasn't been as much of a problem for teams going this way. In fact, he's been a bit more of a problem for us when teams are going this way against us. And it's not because he's a bad defender. His offensive sort of abilities outweigh everything else. We know that as Liverpool fans, but you've got to get the offensive stuff out of him as well. We're not getting that offensive stuff anymore. So I want to see how we're going to utilise Trent Alexander-Arnold this second half of the season, because it's great that Andy Robertson's going to bust the gut up and down all the time. He will bust the gut up and down, but we need to get him more involved. So does that mean maybe giving Salah a little bit more licence to roam inside, giving Trent that little bit more space to get down that right-hand side, because he's an absolute difference maker, and we've not seen the best of him so far this season. So that's what I want to see second half of the season. How are we going to get Trent Alexander-Arnold back fit and firing on every single cylinder that he's got?
No, absolutely. You want to come back around, join me, Chris, and I'll read a few comments. Bear, actually, in the YouTube comment, makes a good point. Says, actually, that's our best 11 minus Luis Diaz and maybe Canate instead of Matip. So that is one way of looking at it. You know, if you're picking Liverpool's best team, I mean, Roberto Firmino might have an argument to be in that.
But top scorer in the league.
But in general, I get the point. You know, if that team was, you know, it might be one player out of Liverpool's best 11. Yeah, you know, we have got injuries in the squad. I think that it's obvious the bench reflects that. But in terms of starting 11s, actually, you might be spot on. Actually, would you, if Liverpool get to a Champions League final this year and everyone's fit and that's the team, but with Diaz, no one would blink an eye. You know,
there'll be people saying what you said to me a minute ago. Maybe Elliot, maybe
Elliot, maybe Bobby,
Canate, maybe Bobby. Yeah. But yeah, I think look, for me, if it was a Champions League final, Henderson does start it. Yeah. Because of his experiences and stuff, the fact that he's a leader, etc. And then you've got Diaz on the left-hand side, and that's probably it. The question mark is whether Núñez is a centre-forward, because his best performances so far for us have come from that left-hand side. Yeah, now, we know Núñez has been bought to be the centre-forward, but right now, Bobby's got more goals in the league than Darwin. So Bobby Firmino will be saying, hang on a minute, lads, Champions League starts tomorrow. It's me in that centre position if he's fit, but, you know, he's not, so...
You're right. Let's bring up the Aston Villa 11. And Olsen is fit. No Martinez, like we said. So Olsen is in goal. Ashley Young is starting. That's a bit of a surprise one.
He's not young anymore.
He's very much not young. He's actually old young. Konsa, Mings and Digne make up looks like what is the rest of the back four for them. Is that a 4-3? Probably a 4-3 again. Actually, he might be matching
4-4-2 maybe. McGinn and Bailey either side around Kamara and Lewis.
Potentially, it could be Buendia and Bailey either side of Watkins. But yeah, McGinn, Kamara, Louise, Buendia, Watkins and Bailey, and then obviously subs. You've got Marshall, Cash, Ings, Chambers, Bednarak, Coutinho, then Dunker, Archer, and the other young as well. Yeah, it's interesting. They might just be matching us up 4-3-3. That'll be interesting to see, because you could go Louise, Kamara and McGinn with them Buendia one side, Bailey the other, and then Ollie Watkins down the middle.
Ollie Watkins has given us trouble in the past as well, hasn't he?
Oh mate, he scored plenty against us, yeah. So yeah, if they do match us, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because like, my thinking would be, if it's coming down to man on man, Liverpool should have better players. But listen, Aston, like you said, Villa have got lads in there who have caused issues before, and they've got some good players. They have got, in terms of attacking options, you know, if you look, Buendia, Watkins, Bailey is pretty decent, like for a team who are a mid-table-ish side. They are lads who can cause you issues.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't know how to answer the question of would it be better or wouldn't it. I think you're sort of probably right with we've got the better players, so man on man probably suits us a little bit more, but I think they're going to be looking to keep it steadfast at the back and keep it steady and stuff. So look, it's going to be difficult for Liverpool to break this Aston Villa side down. What I need from Liverpool today is to go 15-20 minutes without conceding a goal and work their way into the game, or blow Aston Villa away in the first 15 minutes. Either of those scenarios would be great. Conceding in the first 15 minutes is not on my agenda for today for Liverpool. No. It can't be for the rest of the season. We've had a season's worth of conceding inside 10 minutes already. That's enough.
Maybe, I was at Villa Park last year and they scored, I think Douglas Luiz scored after 3 minutes. Going back to Watkins, by the way, he scored 4 goals in 4 games against us. I remember, if I'm right in saying, in that game as well, he wasn't the reason why at the end they scored that early goal. I think he nudged.
Didn't he get a hat-trick against us in the 7?
Yeah, and he scored when we beat them 2-1 in 21. But it was that, when Trent scored the late one, I think he scored that. But I remember, I think I'm right in saying he's the one who nudged, giving Simicast a little nudge early on. So yeah, he has caused problems in the past. Going back to the YouTube comments then, fan of Drax who says, please win. After so long without proper footy, I need a win and no early goal against us. Enough of that. It does feel, I know that we played on Thursday, but it did feel like that was that was like the palate cleanser, almost like the Community Shield, the first game of a second half of the season. This is the big one, and we do, yeah, you're right. It's nice to have the Reds back, but the one thing that we've done so far well, Chris, is that we haven't, we haven't had Liverpool to hurt us over the last 6 weeks. You know, it has been a bit of a mad one. We've been watching footy where the result didn't matter. Who gives a fuck if England won, lost through, whatever. In the final, I was pretty much supporting Argentina just for Messi, but I wasn't harsh, you know what I mean? Like, and if France were the one I went sound, EB wins the World Cup. There's footy back, which is boss, but footy back where It really, really matters. That is one.
It's the hope that kills you as well.
You don't want your Boxing Day ruined by a fucking football team.
No, and not just Boxing Day, the entire Christmas. It would ruin yesterday for me, to be honest, if Liverpool lost, and that's really something. It was a good day.
It really was a good day. It really was a good day indeed. Right, then we're going to start wrapping up there. Then, if you want to come and join us...
Sorry, Palace have had 2 sent off there, I reckon, now.
Yeah, they have, yeah. We've got the Amazon Prime show on as Fulham scored again. That's 3-0, yeah, there you go. Oh, Crystal Palace aren't above us, are they? Fulham now. Everyone's fucking above us. There we go. Right then, yeah, me and Chris will be back at 5:15. So just over, 25 or so minutes for the watch along. Like I say, if you're a Redmen Plus Club legend, make sure you join us because we are giving away our amazing prize. The final draw of the Advent calendar.
Fulham are level with us.
Brilliant. The final prize, yeah, the big one, Christmas Day, our Christmas Advent, especially, we're giving away on Boxing Day because we weren't going to do a draw yesterday, was we? Come and join us at 5:15 for the entire watch along. Mute the telly, watch yours on the commentary, and yeah, we can't wait for it. Hopefully you can join us. See you in about 25 minutes. Take care, everyone.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like on the way out. Did you know you could get some hoodies, t-shirts and any accessories from redmenmerch.com? So head on over there now and grab yourself something.